I'm so excited about talking on this topic today. I can't even tell you. This has been something that I've had to keep a lid on now for about 3 months, knowing that the day was going to come. And finally, today is that day. So I'm going to be talking about something that is very, very close to my heart. Now, if you have been following me from day dot on Instagram back in 2019, if you've been following me on YouTube since 2020, you've been following me here on the podcast since 2020, you will know that I'm extremely passionate about financial education. And I created Conversation of Money purely because I wanted to have conversations that I wish someone had with me when I was 18, 19. With that being said, I think it's been a common occurrence in conversations that I have that there is this notion, this idea, this belief that we need to ensure that financial education, all the things that we talk about and know that we need to talk about, stuff we weren't taught in school, needs to be taught sooner than when we are 18, 19 years old going into the workforce. We actually need to get it in a lot sooner. So literally from when we are kids, like proper kids. And when I do talks, I often lead with this statistic that I mention in my book, and it makes a lot of parents gasp every single time. And that is the fact that our financial habits are locked in at the age of 7. Yes, age of 7. So if you are a parent right now listening to this, or you have kids who have kids, this is a scary, scary thing. And it's seemingly innocuous. We talked a little bit about it on the podcast last week, but it can have far-reaching consequences when we get into adulthood. And so financial education needs to come sooner. It needs to come in primary school. It needs to be taught as part of a dedicated curriculum that is outside of the current makeup where it gets included in numeracy. It needs to be a standalone set of subjects. Now, 3 months ago, I was invited to Parliament to speak to some MPs alongside brands like Go Henry. Go Henry actually invited me. And Go Henry, by the way, have some beautiful, wonderful tools to help not just parents have better conversations with their kids around money and start that financial education story, but tools that kids can use to get their footing with money right. And so I'm so grateful for them, Louise and the team, Alison and the team for inviting me. And surprisingly, when we were at the Houses of Commons at Parliament, the MPs were very receptive to the fact that this is something that they know is an issue. And so today, I'm happy to announce that we have managed to get a petition on the government website. And the petition is to include financial education as a compulsory standalone topic in primary school. That's what we were lobbying for. And in the conversations, we talked about what that might look like, the need for it, how it would actually become funded. Now, the petition is live. And this is where I have an ask from you. I don't often ask a lot. This is really, really important. Before I ask you this, please take it in the right way, because this is bigger than you and I. This is for future generations. This is for kids in schools right now. These are cousins, nephews, potentially. This will impact brothers, sisters. This is not about us per se. This is about the future generation. And I think this piece of work, more than anything else, can have a huge, wide-reaching benefit to others and will change the way, I guess, financial decisions are made in the future for a lot of the new generation now who are going to be facing vastly different challenges to even, the baby boomers have, my generation have, and even the Gen Z are facing right now. So this is a really important thing. So this is the deal. All right. So the petition is now live on the .gov website. I'm going to post a link to it in the show notes on Spotify, on Google, on Apple, all of the good podcast outlets. If you're watching this with me right now on YouTube, it is going to be pinned in the comment section down below. So this is the ask. We need 10,000 vote for this to kind of get, recognized. But really what we want is we want this to be debated in Parliament. And in order for that to happen, we need 100,000 votes. 100,000 votes. Now, the petition went live on the 20th of August, and as of right now, the petition currently has 2,283 signatures. Now, in order for this to be recognized, so the government actually responds to this petition, we need 10,000 signatures. But again, that is not the target. The petition will be debated in Parliament if we get 100,000 signatures. So clearly, we're only at 2,000 signatures right now, and this is a really important topic. If you followed my account, you've attended any of the live Q&As that I've done on YouTube, you will know that this is something that often creeps up. People often ask, Pete, why don't you go and do stuff in school? And that's all very well and good, but time permitting, it's a very, very short-term fix. This will fix the problem, like big time, if we're able to get this through. But unfortunately, this will die a very, very quick death if we cannot achieve 100,000 signatures for this to be debated in Parliament. This is very much the first hurdle, and this is where I need your help. So my ask to you is to, number one, sign the petition. But more importantly, after you have signed it, please share with your loved ones, your friends, your uncles, your cousins, your acquaintances, because this is a really important petition for us to get right. And honestly, if we don't get this right, if we don't get 100,000 signatures, this will just go away and nothing is going to change. I don't want that to happen. I really, really don't. I don't want that to happen. I think through the cost of living crisis, it is clear that we are in a position as adults currently dealing with this, and we don't necessarily have the skill set to navigate the difficulties of financial decisions a lot of the time. And obviously, this is something that I talk about quite a lot across all of my channels. It is so much deeper than just, knowing the right thing to do and getting a head start on the seeds that grow into beliefs and behaviors and habits is really, really important. And so getting this in schools is, for me, a top priority. But the reality is I cannot do this alone. Myself, Go Henry, and everyone else who is involved in this, my bank cannot do this alone. We really, really need your help. So this episode is very, very simple in its approach. It's very, very short. It's probably the shortest episode that I'm going to have on this podcast. And that is because I have a very, very simple ask. Please sign this petition. Help us to make a really big change to the education of our children for all future generations. We cannot get 100,000 signatures on this. We've fallen before we can even begin to really have a good run at this. We know that there is appetite for this in government. We know that one of the challenges is going to be how this is funded. We've given them an option on how this can be funded. But really, to be honest, we as the general public need to stand up and let the government know that we want our kids and future generations to be equipped to be able to make the best financial decisions they possibly can, better than we have been able to. And a lot of us have learned the hard way. A lot of us have learned by trial and error. That doesn't need to happen for future generations. We can get ahead of so many problems. And I'm not just talking about financial problems here. I'm talking about mental health, anxiety, depression, suicidal ideation. Some of the stats that I've seen over the past couple of months of people struggling with the cost of living crisis because of misuse of debt. The numbers are absolutely staggering. And unfortunately, suicidal ideation because of financial pressures have gone through the roof. We can prevent this for future generations by giving them the education that they need as a compulsory element in the education curriculum. This would be a huge change. So please, 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 it's going to take you 2 minutes to sign this petition, and maybe just 1 minute or another 2 minutes to share it with people that you know Please support this. Please give us your signature and help us make this change, because this is a big one, and it will impact so many lives. And we may not be around to actually see how this blossoms, but we'll know that we've done something. We've been part of something. So please support. Please sign the petition. The links are in the show note. The links are in the YouTube description. If you also want to write out to your MP, your local MP, you can also do that. I will provide you with a link to a document. All you need to do is customize it. It gives you full instructions right to your MP as well. Anything that we can do to get this on the agenda of more MPs and let people know that let the government know that this is what we want them to pay attention to. Maybe a small thing amongst the huge problems that we have as a nation right now. But this is a small problem that is worthwhile fighting for, with massive consequences in the future. So please check out all of the links in the show notes on Apple, Spotify, all of the good podcast outlets, and on YouTube. It will be pinned in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for your support, and let me know in the comment section what you think of this. Do you think this is a good idea? Do you think we should have financial education as a separate piece, part of the curriculum, in opposed to it being lumped in with numeracy, which it currently is? Let me know. Thank you so much for your support. Remember, money is a tool, life is a living. Catch you on Monday next week.